Okay everyone, you're watching Broken Barbie TV and this is your host, Gypsy Coriana. Very recently, this new doll, released in 2016, made it onto my grail list. And she is the Madame Lavinia doll from the Harlem Theater collection, designed by none other than the master himself, Carlisle Nuera. Asian pride, what? So this is a very special doll review. I have a handful of wonderful dollies to share with you all, as you can see, so I hope you are subscribed so you don't miss a thing. Today we're just going to explore the doll that comes in this box. Lavinia comes in a huge cardboard box that is much taller than the other boxes here. Disclaimer, Mattel did not send me this doll to review. I paid full price for her, which was $85, and that's the most I've ever spent on a Barbie doll. I only got her because I'm a huge fan and supporter of her designer, and I could not pass up on this monumental doll that represents so much and is the first curvy articulated Barbie available to the public. I just couldn't resist, you guys. So Lavinia is packaged like this, with tissue paper wrapping over her box. Once removed, you can see the back of the box says the name of the doll. She's part of the gold label of the Barbie Collector's dolls. The significance of this doll, according to the back of the box, is that her character is the owner of the Harlem Theater. She is like a tribute to the jazz era in New York during the Harlem Renaissance. This doll is a symbol of some of the women of that day who were go-getters and shot callers. Movers and shakers, as my Uncle Benny would say. Now today, that may not seem like such a big deal, but we're talking segregated America when it was really bad for black people, and to have a doll representing a black female business owner, that's not a small thing. Plus, let's not forget, this doll is sculpted to resemble a full-figured woman whom the media does not really portray in a positive light. So, it is really significant that these images and ideas are represented by this doll. She's powerful, graceful, stylish, elegant, classy, and an entrepreneur. Freaking awesome. Virtual high five, Carlisle! Also, let me mention that Lavinia is the second doll in this collection. The first is actually the Claudette Gordon doll, whom I mentioned in my last review of the holiday 2016 Barbie. They have the same head sculpt, so here is Sonata, my holiday doll that shares Claudette's head mold. That Barbie is supposed to be the headlining singer at Lavinia's club, the Harlem Theater, so the two go hand in hand. The box is really chic, totally black except for the text. It's like a shoebox the way that it opens, so you can just pull it open, and there's no plastic covering protecting this doll. I'm not sure if this is a signature thing for collector dolls, but I promise you, if I was into keeping dolls boxed up, this is a beautiful display to keep her in. Color schemes here shout autumn to me. The burgundy, the golden tones, the tannish orange dress reminds me of like fall leaves. So this burgundy part of the packaging is the innermost layer of the box. The simplicity of the packaging is what makes it so classy and elegant to me. No words, no bright colors. Mattel gets points for that. Dolls we are spending more than like $40 on, I kind of feel like there should be a drastic difference between the Playline dolls and those collector level dolls. And I think this doll definitely encompasses all of that. I am at a loss for words right now because I cannot articulate well enough the fashion of this doll. If Suresh from Suresh NY doesn't already have this doll, I hope he gets it and reviews her just so that he can tell us more about the outfit. It's so everything. Like the sheer scarf thingamajig here, what is this called, a sash? It's so soft and moves so naturally. I thought it would be real stiff, but it's not. It's really perfect. Now, I'm removing the burgundy layer out of the black box. There's nothing attached, so you can just slide it in and out. Here's her COA stuck to the back. I might keep this one in case I decide to resell her someday or something crazy and stupid like that. Or maybe just for like a scrapbook or something. Also on the back of the box, her base for the doll stand is included. It is a two-piece stand. Here it is assembled. Very easy to do. I normally hate all of Barbie's doll stands. I haven't got one like this, so I will try it out before I judge it. I never felt like this about a doll before, but I actually hate taking her out of this box. However, for the sake of this review, I kinda don't have a choice, so I am going to remove her, and here we go. I'm hoping that those annoying plastic cables aren't holding down her head to the box. That would be awful. Look at this. It's a lion staff, which is gold in color. It feels like it's made of plastic, but it does look metallic. I love that. Sexy. She doesn't come with any other accessories other than what's on her body. So far, so good. There are no plastic cables inserted into her head, so thank you, Mattel. I knew you could do it. Sheesh, I haven't complained about anything on this doll yet. That's unusual. Okay, who wants to watch all of this boring stuff? Alright, Mattel, where do you guys find people who just tie dolls down to boxes for a living all day? They put a lot of work into this, I can tell you that. And it's ridiculous. I gotta fight with these boxes to free my dolls? Come on. Okay, here's the empty box in case you were wondering what the aftermath looks like. Here is Lavinia out of her box. So far, I don't have a problem with the doll stand. It doesn't feel clumsy and like it's not getting all in my way, which the other doll stands usually do. Let me not be phony right quick and tell you what I don't like about this doll as I'm looking at her out of the box. I do love the design of the staff, but I don't like that it's so hard to balance because there's no way to attach the staff to the doll and it doesn't have a wider base. I'm balancing this thing just right, but if I move her a little bit, it would just fall down. I don't want to have to use those clear rubber band thingies to tie down the staff to my doll because those things are visible and it distracts me a little. So I just wanted to mention that the cane is not the easiest thing to balance and pose with her. See, now that I'm spinning her a little, the staff just dropped. I mean, that's like a bit peevy for me, but just throwing that out there, some of you guys probably don't care about that. Other than that little issue, I do like everything else. Now, if you look at the dress from the side, it may appear the doll is larger in size than she actually is because of how the fabric falls on her, but that is just an illusion. Here she is from the back. Her shoes look much bigger than a Barbie's shoe. She's got her fur scarf. There's a snap button on the back of her dress. Only one. I wish there were two of them so that there would be more of like a cinching action going on. But again, that's really not a big deal. Alright, this is exactly how she looks, straight out of the packaging. I have not added or removed anything on this doll. Let's break everything down. First, a close-up look at her scarf, which is attached with thread to her skirt. It's dark brown, not as dark as it looks on this camera. The lining on the bottom is a burgundy color, and it's like a satin kind of material. Look at this. She can wear it around her like this. She's so fabulous. How adorable is this lady? I want to kidnap her. Well, I mean that in a good way. This sash around her waist is so lightweight and smooth, but it's also strong. It's not gonna fray and fall apart after being handled a few times. She's amazing. She's got a huge ring on her finger, cause she got it like that. Balla! Remember back in the 90s when our Barbies had those rings we could push into the hand and interchange? It's one of those. Taking it back, y'all. And her fingers are manicured, burgundy nail polish to match her turban and earring. The top has gold stitching with a see-through mesh lining underneath. I'm not sure if that's visible on camera. And there's a gold ribbon lining here that leads to the straps. As we move down, we can see the tan orangey color of the dress. It's like a fuzzy material and it's shiny at the same time. Here's a charm on the side, keeping her sash in place. I love the different tints of color that show up on the sash. I mean, look at her shoes. We'll take a closer look at those in a little bit. Now, the sash doesn't appear to be removable. It's stitched onto her dress. It's loose enough, though, that you can maneuver the dress underneath to get it to sit on her just right. Her other accessories are this turban and earrings. The earrings look like a tassel, and it's inserted in her ears. Gold and burgundy, it's a plastic piece and they are easily removable, so you can switch them to something else if you want to. They are just like typical earrings that collector dolls usually come with. I like that. Now let's look at her burgundy turban with the charm in the front that matches the one on her dress. It's like a shiny fabric and it's removable. You don't have to tie anything on to keep it on her head. It's sewn down to her head, so I'm just gonna detach it so we can see how this works. Just for kicks, let me see if it fits other dolls too. Now, Darla has more hair, so it may be bulkier, but look, it fits very well on her. So that's great. My other dolls can play dress up with this. While we're at it, let's just take a look at her hair. It's very stiff. There's a lot of gel in it, but it is actually really curly too. I'm gonna restyle it because it probably needs to be washed. It's very short, but once it's brushed out, this hair is long enough to give you a cute semi-afro type of look. I prefer my dolls to have longer hair, but I don't mind this length on her because it suits her. My favorite thing about her is her lovely new head sculpt. We don't have enough variety in Black Doll's head sculpts as far as dedicated heads that they use only for the colored dolls. Other than Nikki and Billy, I'm so tired of seeing those face sculpts so much on the Black Dolls. The Billy sculpt, it's pretty, but it's like, oh my gosh, every Black doll that they create in any particular line, it's like you're gonna see one of those. And people also call it the Grace face. Yeah, that's like a version of the Billy head sculpt. I don't know, I'm just so tired of seeing them over and over again. And they're reusing the Asha head sculpt lately, but still, that's not a new head mold. So this is really good. Her lips are not too smiley, but she's not all serious looking either, and her eyes have a green tint to them. I know my camera is not picking that up too good right here. I did find a little blemish on my doll, like a cut here in her arm. That's disappointing for an $85 doll to have marks like this, but it's just one of those things you can't control when you purchase dolls of any kind. The vinyl is not going to be perfect, and factory defects are a thing. As long as it's not on her face, I guess I can live with it. Let's look at her stockings. They're knee highs with lace trim at the top. The golden heels she's wearing are so cute. Not a metallic gold, but I like it anyway. The design is pretty. And let's get a closer look at her face with her gold eyeshadow, some intense eye makeup going on here, one raised eyebrow to give her some expression, and these glossy two-toned burgundy lips. She has a beauty mark on her face as well, and she does not have rooted eyelashes. Now some of you will be bothered by that, but I think the eyelashes would just get in the way, especially if you like to repaint dolls or put glasses on their faces. I prefer my dolls without rooted eyelashes. You know, Mattel doesn't have the best reputation for rooting eyelashes well, so I'm definitely not complaining about her not having any. Her hair, although it is short, it's densely rooted. You have to get used to the texture, but it looks authentic for a doll that is representing how women of this time styled their hair. They weren't wearing virgin hair weaves back then, okay? So I like this natural look that she's sporting. I'm gonna take off the shoes and the stockings. Look, they use double-sided adhesive to attach the stockings to her body. I don't know if I like that too much. I'm scared that it will damage the stockings, but it can just be peeled off carefully. It's ugly, but not permanent. And when I took off her dress, I found the same thing on her chest, holding the front of her dress in place. I don't know if she needed all of that. Here's the sculpt of her body. She's got a wider physique than the original body types of Barbies. Her calves and thighs are much larger, and she is very curvy, very beautiful. I love her feet. I'm thinking that the feet look smaller than standard curvy and tall body types do, and that's surprising to me because they're supposed to both be curvy dolls. We're gonna compare her to a regular curvy doll in just a little bit. Now look at her little feet. There's no pedicure. I think that I would have liked to see that, but anyway, her feet look really dainty and small to me. Let's compare Marley to her. Marley is a curvy doll. Her feet look much longer to me compared to Lavinia's. Here's Lavinia's shoes on Marley's feet, and they do fit quite well. Oh snap, I gotta show you guys this. I was trying to bend her knees to test her articulation, and there is a liquid seeping out of her joints. It doesn't have a smell, and it's clear. It feels like water. It's not sticky. I don't know why it's doing that. It's only in this one leg, but it's sort of strange. Does anybody have an explanation for why this is happening, or has this ever happened to you guys with any of your other Barbie dolls? Why is there liquid inside my doll? This is super bizarre. I'm sure that this isn't a big deal, but I did have to show you guys because it was kind of freaking me out while I was filming this. So I'm trying on some different shoes on her. The beige heel is slightly bigger on my Barbie dolls, so I thought this one would fit her, but it's actually falling off of her foot because the toes are wider and it doesn't fit quite right inside the shoe. Her feet are hard plastic, so I can't just squeeze them into the smaller shoes. With the silver pair, on the other hand, which belonged to a curvy doll at first, or maybe it was a tall doll, it can fit, but the arch of the shoe and her feet don't quite match up. Now, her original shoes are back on her feet without the stockings, and they are slightly loose, but it's not going to fall off. And this is what lets me know that her feet are actually smaller than a curvy or a tall doll's feet. I'm gonna have to get creative with finding right shoes for this doll, but that's not a problem. Let's do a body comparison of a standard curvy body to hers. The chest size, totally different. Lavinia has a rounder and larger chest. I'm really happy about this because I was really wanting to see the curvy bodies with larger chests, and here she is. Also, Marley has a wider waist. compared to Lavinia. Now, this part, I think I prefer the wide waist that Marley came with. I think that the contrast of the waist size compared to a regular standard Barbie body makes the curvy dolls a little more unique, and it helps them to fill out some of those outfits that Barbie can't quite fit a lot better. Here they are from the side. Their bellies are different shapes. They both protrude, but Lavinia has a little indent because her waistline is smaller. Lavinia also has a spine, and Marley seems to be wider from the back. Their shapes are not exactly the same. Their butts look different too. Marley's is actually a little bigger. I wish they would have kept the larger booty. And Lavinia has way bigger thighs than Marley, so I think that the larger backside would have helped to balance out the large legs that Lavinia come with. They are the same height. Their hands are also shaped similarly. Lavinia's hands are just a little more defined and detailed. Oh, and Lavinia is not a victim of the molded undies. Thank you. I hate those so much. Let me just show you Marley with these stockings on too. There's a plastic lining at the top that helps to keep the stocking from sliding down and out of place, so that was a pretty good idea. And let's see how they look redressed. Marley's wearing all of Lavinia's original clothing except for the earrings and the ring, so you can redress your curvy dolls in this outfit. And I've dressed Lavinia in some other clothing that I usually put on my curvy dolls. As far as her joints are concerned, let me show you this. Now her knees bend up and down. They appear to be pivotal, but I cannot tell for sure if they actually are because they're so stiff and hard to move. I don't want to break the pegs that are connecting the joints. I can't move them like side to side like a pivotal joint would without them feeling kind of fragile. Like I feel like it's just gonna break if I try too hard. So I think they're supposed to pivot, but the joints are still new and they need to be broken in, so to speak. I'm gonna have to play around with her more to know for sure how much her knees can move, but they do bend back in a 90-degree angle. If I discover that she definitely can or can't pivot her knee joints, I'll be sure to update you guys with that information, and also be sure to be following me on Instagram so that you can see pictures of all of that in case I upload the pictures before I make a video about it. Her arms have the elbow joints, pre-made to move status, guys. Now she can't bend her elbows enough to actually touch her face the way that a made to move doll can, but her wrists also move. And really, I'm not gonna complain about this level of articulation because this is a step up from Marley back there, who is completely stiff. Now we're gonna use Genesis Quinn as our guinea pig because she is on a made to move yellow top body, and I customized her with a closed mouth, so go watch that tutorial if you want to learn how to do that. They're the same skin tone, and with their heads swapped, this is how they look. I don't know how I feel about Lavinia on the made to move body. I think she looks more natural on her original body. She kind of reminds me of Mary J. Blige though, the singer, for some reason. I also like that she doesn't look super young, like somebody in her 20s or younger. I like to have age variety in my collection in addition to the diversity, so I think this doll definitely brings that to the table. How do you feel about her on the skinnier body, you guys? And what do you think about yellow top on the larger body? I think she's kind of cute on the bigger body. Here's another shirt that I tried on the body to see how that fits. We really needed an articulated curvy body badge, y'all. This is so fabulous. I'm really happy I got this doll. I would recommend her for anyone who appreciates quality in their collector Barbies, and this scarf is one of my favorite things about her accessories. It's so cute, and this detail makes her really lifelike, so I just can't get enough of it. Let me know if you have any questions about this doll. Drop it in the comment section. I will try my best to respond to you if I know the answer to your question. I appreciate all of you guys who tuned in to watch this review. We've got so many more in our playlist and so many new ones on the way, so be sure to stay tuned by subscribing so as not to miss any of those videos. Even though Lavinia's name suits her really well and it's a really pretty name, I'm still going to change my doll's name because I do it with all of my dolls just to keep them very personalized for me. So I've decided to call her Enid Aruhu. She is going to be the sister of my other doll, Everly Aruhu, who is my Lieutenant Uhura doll, which I did a review of, so go and check that out too. And if you're old enough to handle naughty content material, Be sure to check out our doll comedy series, Broken Barbie Show, where all of our dolls be acting a fool. And that can be found in the links inside the description box as well as in the playlist on our channel. This is Gypsy, and I'm gonna get out of here because I've been talking my head off. I will see you guys over on Instagram. Until later, have a dolly day!